Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of The Next Shot, where I'm joined with my co-host Luke Lukasic from Georgia. How you doing, Luke?
Hey, how's it going, Roger? How's everybody else?
Doing pretty good, man. Uh, we are back, and we have our best shots from 2020. So, as you were culling through your shots for this year, uh, how hard was it to find uh, the shots that you wanted for the show versus overall portfolio stuff?
It was hard. I found shots that's like, well, I like that, but it didn't make the cut. You know what I'm saying? Just there was a lot of stuff that I had that I tried to get stuff that wasn't necessarily already on the show, some new stuff here and there. Um, it was a struggle, to be honest.
Right. And me going through the images that I had, a lot of those were from the show. It was the challenges that we had set forth for ourselves, the editing that we chose to do on those images. So I think we got a pretty good mix on our slideshow. So what we'll do is we'll get right into that. And then afterwards, we're going to discuss what's coming up for the year 2021. How's that?
All right, cool. Let's do it.
All right. Awesome. All right, Luke. So this is episode 15 of The Next Shot. Did you ever think we'd make it to 15?
Sir, I didn't think there would be an episode one. So.
So we have a very positive outlook on what we're doing for the next shot. So we will discuss that at the end of our show.
I'm excited.
So first off, these are our best shots of 2020. Now, keep in mind, some of these shots we did use for the show, and we've already explained it to most people that have watched our previous episodes. But again, we're going to go through what makes this image part of our best shots, and what are some of the things we're going to do going into 2021 with our editing, and what we may do different next time we go out and shoot some of these shots. How's that?
Great. Let's do it.
All right, Luke, you are up first. So tell us a little bit about this shot.
So this is William. He's just a homeless guy that kind of lives on River Street where I work. But his face kind of just sums up 2020, He's a great guy. He's quiet. He's friendly. We always try to give him some popcorn or some water when we see him, but he's a local resident that he just needs some help sometimes. But it said his whole demeanor right there kind of sums up the entire year for a lot of people this year, I think.
That's true. It's almost spiritual, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you do different taking this shot in 2021, or tell me something that you may change about this shot?
I would definitely take out the person in the background.
Okay. So I think you had recently discussed about doing some editing for Photoshop. So that would be something you could lasso really quick and do that edit and make that disappear.
Yeah, for sure.
So good deal. All right, next shot.
This was for our food challenge. Yeah, that's just my fancy little garlic there.
So I still think this image could be a wall hanger, we'll call it, because there's just something intriguing about how the depth of field pulls you right into the image, And I know we had discussed maybe doing a black and white. Would that be something you would consider?
Yeah, for sure.
Good deal. All right. This one here.
This was our product photography challenge. Again, it's just some inspiration to kind of maybe hopefully one day you'll be in the book. You'll have your own book. It just kind of brings back the old days of real film that most people nowadays don't even know about,
That's true. And, looking through some books, kind of like the top one there, the 20th century photography book, when you go back 20, 30 years and look at some of the images that have a little out of focus, grain, blur, honestly, it doesn't have to be a perfect image to be a great photo. Would you agree?
Oh, 100%. There's a guy that I have to look for his picture. Maybe we can post it in here. It looks like it's just speckled with grain, but the image is great. I'm saying it's a black and white, grainy, dirty picture, but it really caught my eye when I saw it. But it was 100% grain. There's so much grain in the picture. But I loved it.
Yeah, I mean, and imagine having that in a poster size
Hmm.
or something hanging in the museum. All that grain and the detail would just add to the image. So, all right, next image. This one here, the swampland.
It's our Sasquatch.
Yes, it is our Sasquatch. So, if you guys haven't seen the previous episode that we were discussing the image, I'm not sure if I can get my mouse in here, but right in the center, right by the bend in the tree, we have a Sasquatch that I spotted. Luke actually shot that image, so of course he'll get the credits on TMZ. But to me, this image, that's the first thing I spotted. So tell us a little bit about this.
It was a day, like I said before in the last show, that I was gonna go shooting. I said no, I'm not gonna go. It was like 30 degrees. It was just too cold. And I told you I didn't go. And you're like, wow, you can still take pictures in the cold. So I got off my ass and I went shooting. I just drove down roads that I didn't normally drive down until I saw something that caught my eye, and this little swampy area did it. You know what I'm saying? I just pulled over and started taking some pictures. And little did I know I got a Sasquatch.
There you go. And images like this too. If you pull up and look on like Instagram, at swampland and stuff like that, or any landscape picture now, they're starting to use more of the wide angle slash almost like a fisheye, to where everything just kind of distorted and kind of goes to a point, kind of like a perspective image.
Yeah.
That would look pretty cool if you decided to go back to this area, just changing up a different lens.
Hmm.
May get a wider shot and get more of that sky, especially on like a cloudy day where you have more in the reflection too. So I think that would be
Yeah.
great. All right, this one here.
Before I started work one morning, I walked dead down the river, and the sunrise clouds were just kind of like just exploding. It was like a quick 2 minute thing before I had to run into work. And I snapped it. I saw the boat. There's a lot of color in the water in the sky that morning.
So one quick question about that.
Yeah.
I haven't been down to Georgia in a while, but do they ever dock tie their boats with like the big chains and the anchors? Can you? I mean, or is it on the other side of the river?
So
Or
the way they come through, they got to go under the Talmadge Bridge. The ports are on the other side of us, but there's always big yachts docked up just outside the store.
yeah, so that would be pretty cool to get some of that. You ever seen where they put the camera right on the rope or the
Mhm.
chain or whatever it is, and get that
Yeah.
perspective. So maybe one day you can shoot something like that, tie in with your boat shots.
For sure.
All right, this one here looks
Um,
like another early morning, huh?
Once again, early morning. I forget where I was driving, but it was just really foggy, really dense, thick. I pulled over and snapped that. I think I snapped it with my phone, actually. It was just a cool, creepy, eerie, zombie-like morning shot.
Yeah, it does kind of give that almost like a war zone smoky feel,
Hmm.
like you never know what's going to come out of these foggy areas. So yeah, I like the shot because it's simple. The sun coming through the tree over there, plus I think that's what draws your eye over there. It's almost warm on the left and cool on the right.
Yeah.
So very good job there. All right,
Uh,
go ahead.
Once again, just walking around the streets. This is a couple. They're homeless. Two of the mean-looking dogs, but those dogs were friendly. Um, gave them some treats. I went and bought them some water, some snacks. But just that's life for some people here in town. Most of them get overlooked. Most of them get ignored. Just talking to them when you see them, it'll change your day.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, that's life for some people here. Well,
gotcha.
everywhere.
And you know what I just noticed too? If you look to the far right, I think there's another homeless person down there, or just somebody
Sitting
hanging
on the
out.
bench. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even see that the first time we showed this image. But again, just discussing, taking care of the pets and taking care of the the couple there. I mean, that was really nice of you to do that, and not a lot of people would take the time for that. So kudos to you, sir.
Well, we're all one paycheck away from that.
You're right.
Well, I
You're
should say
absolutely
all,
right.
most.
Most. You're right. All right. My favorite shot.
Well, thank you. That's the shot that so I crouched down on this board, um, and you actually talked about flipping upside down. Little did you know it was flipped upside down. Um,
I had no idea. And we were discussing, the photographer that I'd seen that did that a lot, and you really couldn't tell the difference, when it comes to mirror like reflections,
the only thing that tips it off is at the top of the screen. You kind of see some of the rocks in the water, but other
Right.
than that, there's not much to kind of lead you to think that it's not already like fake mirrored it with like an app. You know?
Yep, that's true. And this one here is fairly new. I don't think I have seen this shot.
Yeah. I try to stick a few shots in here that weren't already out there for everybody. This is just a building downtown. I've shot it before, but this time I just shot it again, different sky. Added some color pop to it. I like that building. There's a few buildings in town that I really like, and this guy always seems to draw me back to it.
Now, is it like an apartment or is it a store or?
It's a store downstairs, but with COVID, it's closed.
Gotcha.
I believe there are apartments upstairs.
Cool. Yeah, this is something like you would see in an old city like that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And this one here.
This one is actually about 6 feet down from the couple that I shot before. Same alley. I actually saw them right after this, but I'm a sticker graffiti whore. I love stickers all over signs, all over doors. I love it.
I mean, it does kind of give that, it's almost a grungy feel with the rust and I think that's a trash bag on the ground there.
Mm-hmm.
It just has a used feel to it. Not a lot of people would travel down these alleys to get
No.
pictures like this. So I think you're brave for going down there, even middle of the day. But you got a killer shot though. This definitely could be something that keeps your eye busy. If it was hanging in a museum, just the stuff that you would see the detail in.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
This was the shot that my favorite shot of the day with the swamps. Just the sky, the trees. This was the shot that made me feel good for going out when I didn't want to go out.
Right. And we were discussing earlier about the perspective and the wide angle. I think you nailed that here.
Thank you.
And then of course I call this a self-portrait, but so what would you describe this as, Luke?
I'm waiting for Roger to get out on the call.
I gotcha. But it actually turned out to be a really good image.
It is. I actually use it for all my social media pictures.
Very good. So you didn't even hire a photographer for that one?
No. Well, I guess I did.
I'm sure you paid for it in the end, right? All right. So this is some of the images that I've chosen for the best of 2020. Now, keep in mind, we did some shows that we used some of these images for. This one here has to be a top 5. We discussed about the perspective and drawing your eye into the image, and I think the limb of the tree just does that, and the color versus the background turned out really, really nice.
I still think everything's on fire. I love
It does look like a fire there. This one here, I shot this while I was at work. Sometimes you got an opportunity to look up and look down. I find a lot of stuff on the ground, old nails and bottle caps and cans. And if it's interesting to me, I will shoot it. The day I shot this, there were tons of birds on this power line, and they're all looking the same way. Like they found something in the sky they were looking at. It's just the weirdest thing, and then I just focused on this group. And if you look, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we talked about shooting in odd numbers, right?
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't for the life of me try to put another bird in here and try to keep that crop and that power line. You know what I'm saying? Because they were kind of
Yeah,
spread
yeah,
further apart. But even having six birds there, the way it's two, two, one, and
yeah,
one,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think it makes for a cool image, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
And this one I did kind of like a dreamy effect. If you look at it, it's not crisp and clean and HDR like I normally do. I threw some color in the sky, and I kept that vignette around the edge, and then of course did that. It's almost like a glow, I think it is on the app. So
It almost looks like a painting.
it actually does. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. If I turned this into a texture and put it on a canvas, it would look just like a painting. You're right. So this one here, like you said, traveling down some back alleys or going behind stores. I honestly think this is on the backside of like a convenience store.
Hmm.
Uh, and I can't remember where I was at, but it was across the street, and I seen it, so I just pulled over there, shot it, put it in the software for the HDR, and this is what it come out like. And to
I like
me,
that.
and again, going back to the odd numbers, having the three spouts there, the chain hanging down, which I thought was pretty cool too, and one missing the cap on the end there.
The bricks almost remind me of like as a kid when you do like watercolors, all the
Yeah,
little squares colors. That's kind of looks like a watercolor tablet. You know what I'm saying? I like
yeah,
that.
and the bricks were not really that heavy on color until I put
Hmm.
it in HDR, and then the color popped out of it, which I thought was pretty cool too. So, and of course the lovebirds. You know, this was at a little petting zoo. I shot through the fence, so what you can't see. I put the lens through the fence, I
Yeah.
zoomed in, and then bam, a pretty cool shot with the HDR and the color and everything too. So, all right, this one here is the one that I was telling you about, Lake Junaluska, I think is
Yeah.
how you pronounce it.
Yeah. Up in Waynesville, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was a planned trip to go up there just to shoot a sunrise over the lake. Now, keep in mind, the guy was not a planned prop, but he come putting along, and I'm gonna tell you what, I was like, this guy's gonna ruin my shot. And then as he come out from the trees and the ripples, and he just stopped right there and just started fishing. And I'll tell you what, it made the shot,
Hmm.
and to know it's not a recognizable person, it's almost the silhouette with the sunrise made it even better. So that's probably one of, again, my top five shots that I've done this year. The downside is I just noticed that around the edges where I have my wide angle, you
Hmm.
can see where I
The
have
yeah.
my sun flare uh, cover for my lens was on, and I'll definitely have to take care of that. All right, and of course the tree that's in the river there, I thought that was pretty cool. We used
Yeah.
that on one of our earlier
One of our edits.
episodes.
Yeah.
Yep. But just to know that turning this to a black and white, the detail that came out in it, I thought it was pretty cool too. So just a lot of contrast in this image too, which I thought was nice. So definitely one of my top images for this year. And this one here was the most interesting. It's almost artistic, wouldn't you say?
It is. It's weird. You almost see faces from behind in the back there, just trying to escape.
This is true. It almost looks more like a horror movie. And I bet if I added some red tint to this, it would just be like amazing, almost like
What
veins.
What is that?
Okay, so this is in my backyard. We had did some grading behind the house
Hmm.
to keep the rainwater from washing our driveway away. So by doing so, we had like this grass and mud combo. So every time it rains, the mud would just stop in this grass, and then when the sun would come out, it would dry it almost like a clay.
Yeah, yeah.
So it just matted all the grass and the hay and everything that we had put down to grow the grass. And I just took a small. Honestly, you wouldn't see none of this detail. I mean, this is like a size of the 2 inch by 2 inch square of it. So by doing kind of like a macro on it with the wide angle lens, I mean, it turned out really, really good. So I'm pretty pleased with this one. And then, of course, the leaf on the rock. Doing something like this is the contrasting colors
Mm-hmm.
with the warmness of the sun. This was a sunrise shot as well. And it was really cold that day too. It looks warm because I took and warmed it up with the software, but fall day, cold by the lake there. So, but just like you say, having a single subject in the image, and not two leaves, not four leaves, that single image to draw you to the center there,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think is
yeah.
pretty cool. And then this one here is a mirror shot that I took at Belmont Abbey College up in Belmont. And as I did the mirror shot, I went and added the fog and the background, turned it black and white, added a little bit of contrast. And this, I didn't think it would make the cut, but looking
So
through some
that
of the
that
other
is
images,
one of my favorite shots.
is it really?
It is. That's when I saw. It's really gothic-y,
Yeah.
When I saw, I was like, "Wow, I really like that." Like that's my top three of yours, I think.
Yeah, I think, the more I look at it, the more I like it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, the original building on the right-hand tower is actually a clock. So it's a little taller. It's got a clock on it. It looks, pretty cool. But to get the background and the effect I wanted to be more symmetrical, I guess, or
Mhm.
even on both sides. So that's why I did the mirror effect and then added the background later. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then, of course, the knife shot, when we were doing the product photography. There's something about this. I mean, it's simple, but yet I don't know. I think it's because it's my stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That I use for prompts. It's stuff that I carry or wear or use, So I just think it's pretty cool. And that grunge effect I put on it, I think turned out pretty good too. So this here was actually I want to say this was at a petting zoo as well. It's just random stuff they had. It's almost like a goat barn or a chicken
Mhm.
coop or something, I think it was. But when I see stuff like this kind of grouped together, it's almost like it's set up like a prop to shoot.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
always shoot it in color, change it in black and white, and see what happens. So the color one just didn't do it. It's just I thought the rust would be pretty cool in HDR, the wood, but the black and white tells a better story, I think. What I would do different for
Sure.
something like
You don't have to
this,
tell me that. I know that.
but this is true. But what I would do different is the can that's in the middle there. The highlights are
Mhm.
like way too punchy, so I would tone that highlight down, to kind of give it a little bit more uh, texture there, and so
Yeah.
you can read the letters a little bit. But as far as most of the images that I have on here, I do like the HDR. I do like the high contrast, like this one here of the farm equipment, or I think it has like a little forklift on the front there for maybe
Mhm.
hay bales or whatever. Um, but something like this, is perfect. Pull over side of the road. It's been parked. You can tell the grass is growing over the top of it there. Um, the sky was pretty cool that day with a lot of clouds. So I know it's overdone with HDR, but to me, it's almost like you said, it's almost artistic. It's almost a painting. So I think that's what appeals to me with stuff like this. But
Definitely. Definitely.
and then this one here, I don't know what I would call this. It's just like a heart with the leaves, or it's the mirror effect as well. And I always test that out to see what it's going to look like. And when I shoot with that app, I'll have it always set on there. And if I don't like it, then I switch it back to normal camera or whatever I have
Mhm.
that I'm shooting with. But I'm telling you, if you've never played around with mirror effects, it's very creative and artistic. Uh, if you tilt it a certain way, it's a completely different image, you know. But I challenge you, if you haven't done any of the mirror stuff, that you do it with a software that lets you see it before you go and edit it. Does that make
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
sense?
Yeah, yeah. Is that on Snapseed or no?
No, it's not
No.
Snapseed. That's it's I'll tell you exactly what it is. It's Muse Mage, MuseMage. It lets you do videos and all kind of different edits, and uh, so basically that's it for our slideshow. So all the viewers out there, if you would send us your best shots from 2020. Let us see what you have come up with this year, and kind of give us an idea of what you would like to do going into 2021 to change some of your shots, your equipment, um, your how you edit, some of the apps you're going to try out. Like we said in the past, just participate and let's see what happens from there. And guys, here's how you do it. Send us an email. Send us those images, or at least one of your top images from 2020, and let us take a look at those, and we'll share that on one of the episodes of The Next Shot. So, Luke, how do you feel about your images overall for 2020 and your photography style, what you did?
Well, yeah, I think I've improved over the last year prior to that. Still definitely have room to grow as I would continue to get more skills and learn more things. But overall, I'm glad and happy with what I got.
Okay, good. And here's the thing I see with your photography over this past year is I think the show has helped you with some of your uh, some of the challenges that we did that
Hmm.
you normally would not have done. It helped me as well grow some of the things that, like the video and the editing part, even working on the show. After we
Definitely.
get done, the splicing and the editing features that I've found, some of the apps that we've used for the promotions. So I think we've both grown, and I know some of our viewers have grown as well, just judging by some of the things that they've sent, some of the images and some of the participation that we've had, but we definitely need more. We want to do this for you guys. We want to have a great 2021. And if you guys would just send us some of the images or some comments, even sharing it on Facebook, when you see the videos, just share it with other people that may be interested too. So, all right. So Luke, 2021, we're what, 3 days away, something like that.
Yeah.
So I know everybody's ready for 2020 to be over with, but what do you have to look forward to in 2021 as far as the show goes, or some of the things that you want to do to better your side of the business and grow your photography and video?
So in no particular order, um, I want to fine tune my Photoshop and Lightroom skills, either through online classes or YouTube. Every day I try to learn a new thing and practice the hell out of it. But it gets frustrating sometimes. Like, oh yeah, I can do that. Boom! If the guy does it in like 3 steps, and I'm on like step 65, and I still haven't gotten the damn thing right. That when he's on step 2, you know. So that's one of my one things. Next thing is I want to go on more photo adventures. You know, down here in southern Georgia, I'm a couple hours from, Atlanta, a couple hours from Florida. Just small little things, just to kind of get out and do something other than just shooting in Savannah. Just to kind of see more things. Like I'm 4 hours from the mountains. Just day trips. You know what I'm saying? Just to kind of get some more photo adventures.
I agree, man, because like you said, you're an hour to 2 hours away from everything.
Hmm.
The ocean, big city, the mountains. You're actually centrally located, really. So yeah, I agree, man. I don't have that on my list, but I wish I would have put that on there. But I'd be
Sir, you haven't gone yet. You can still add it.
all right. Next,
Um, I want to do some more product photography, and I blame you for that one because that
yes,
stupid food thing. But I'd like to get recognized by a brand. Just randomly shoot different things and tag people in it. And eventually at some point, I don't expect Coke. What I'm saying, to call for me. But maybe a smaller outfit. I'm saying, might say, hey, come help us. Why don't you do something like this? So just to get recognized by a small brand, would be an accomplishment for next year.
so let me say this. Don't wait for the brand to recognize you. You go find a brand, like you said, and work with that company, whether it be a local bakery or a t-shirt company or somebody that doesn't have any promo stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Even a local restaurant. Think about it. They all need images for their menus or their online, their Facebook. Just volunteer to go there and spend an hour shooting with the chef of the food, the final dishes coming
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
You've got the food safety experience to work in the kitchen. So hairnet, gloves, face mask, goggles, whatever you got to wear. Just set up the camera on a tripod with a little light and say, whatever dish comes out, let's shoot it. Bam. And then there you go.
there you go. That easy.
That easy, you know?
My next one is to get kind of independent and just do photography full time. Obviously, it's going to take a lot of work, but that's a goal this year. And my last one is to get a shot of the damn moon.
Okay.
That elusive moon shot, not just a big ball of light in the sky.
Well, I can tell you, I can definitely help you out with that. There's only a couple of things you need. Honestly, it's a steady tripod, a long range lens, which can be rented or borrowed. You've got people that down there that are photographers. Just say, hey, tonight's supposed to be the first full moon in January. I'd like to borrow the 300 millimeter lens. All you got to do is get the focus and the lighting right. Everything else will fall in place. You can edit in Lightroom if you have too many highlights, or you can pull the grain out with software. You just got to get those things, and take 20, 30, you never know. Center it to the center of the frame. That way you have a little room to crop or edit, whatever you want to do. But shooting the moon, I can help you with. Photoshop, I can help you with. I've been doing Photoshop for years. So the adventures, I would love to participate in as well. So maybe that's something we can do more of this year.
You know where I live.
You know where I live too. Kind of.
I know the state.
Yes. So is that all of the ones that you had written down?
My 5, yeah.
Okay, very good. So I have 5 myself. Mine is more catered toward the show. To me, just coming up with the idea of the show, I want to help other people with photography and video the same way other people have helped me. I'm just trying to pay it forward. With you being able to join me in that mission has been a success in my book. So I want to thank you for that.
Sure. I want to thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome. My goals for 2020 for the next shot. For one, I want to upgrade my laptop computer. I know that has nothing to do with photography and video per se, but equipment to do those things, it's beneficial.
No, for sure.
I need faster. I need larger screen. I need better clarity. All that stuff comes with a nice upgrade to the laptop. A configure setup for recording the show. I want to reconfigure everything, kind of like what we were discussing prior to the show. I've got a couple examples I'll add into the show as well, of how you set your laptop up, your mic and your camera to where you get the best quality. Even having the studio lighting in here versus the ambient lighting that we have now. And I know what we're doing is not as professional, but when I list a few more of these things off, you'll kind of understand why. The third thing is to film more commercial promo videos for my portfolio. So a good shout out right now to Peter McKinnon, because, we will have a show of nothing but Peter McKinnon favorites, it would be a dream to have him on the show, right, Luke?
1,000% yes.
So,
not just because he's my man crush.
So what we'll do is we'll both team up and we'll send him some messages saying, hey, we have a new show. We definitely want you on there. If it happens, it happens. If not, I know he's from Canada. So that's one thing that, we make and shoot for as a goal for 2021 for the show. But, but filming more commercial stuff, like you said, you want to take more product photography. I would like to do more video of the same thing, whether it be the product or food or other things like that, or even the photo adventures. It's almost like you want to go take more pictures, but I want to do video. So I may video you taking more pictures. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
it all builds the portfolio, it all builds the brand too. So, which reminds me, we need to get our merch, our shirts and our hats out for the viewers as well. So when we do that, we'll definitely have those on our site. Right, Luke?
Oh, 100%. Yes.
The next thing with saying about the website is to drive more traffic to the website. So I want to make a promo video for the next shot. So Luke, I'm recruiting you now to get me some B-roll footage to put together for our promo for the next shot. And it's video, photos, whatever you think we need to make that promo successful. So we'll talk about it. We'll get some feedback from our viewers. If you guys have ideas of what you want us to do to get a promo out, where you can share that on Facebook and we can put it on the website, just to drive more traffic there. Okay.
Gotcha.
Last thing is, which you're gonna really, it's almost like it was godsend, because the last thing I put on there was to do more Photoshop and Lightroom classes via Zoom. So, so if you had never seen these before, we tell people we have this thing. We can't understand it either, but if I think one thing, you think it as well, but we offer.
There is video proof.
Yes, sure. There is. But here's the thing, Photoshop and Lightroom are tools that photographers can use to make their pictures better, or to completely change the image. Mm-hmm. You can extract, you can add backgrounds in, you can merge layers. There's so much you can do with Photoshop and Lightroom. It's just very time consuming. It's not a one button preset. No. Sometimes, you can set it up that way if you don't want to tweak as much, but every image is going to be different. So here's my challenge to you, Luke, is we get together on a Zoom. We do a Photoshop tutorial to help you learn Photoshop, but we also record that for our viewers. So what do you think about something like that?
I'm down for that.
Okay, good. And then you can show something in Lightroom, because that's really what you focus on the most. And maybe mm-hmm. you can teach me a little something too.
Sure.
I've been doing both for years, but like you say, you never know everything.
Never.
So, all right, guys, that's my top 5 for goals for 2021 for the next shot, whether it be personal or it be for the show. All right, guys, that's it for this episode of The Next Shot. We discussed our top images for 2020, and we also discussed our goals for 2021. So if you would, just make sure you leave a comment, send us your images through email, and then also participate. Let's see what you got. Let's see what your goals are for 2021. So, Luke, you have anything for everybody out there?
Just hopefully 2021 is better for everybody. But again, just get out there, shoot, share with us, comment with us. Just get involved. That's what we're here for. That's the whole point of the show.
It is. So, Luke, I want to thank you again for being with us today on this episode. And of course, we want 2021 to be great. So let's keep coming up with different ideas. Let's listen to our viewers out there. And until then, guys, keep shooting.